Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
Let's go, baby, let's go!
From a championship backfield to your morning drive.
Hands to Hester, and Hester, yep, got it, 5 out of 5.
You're locked in to Off the Bench.
Flynn is back to throw from the end zone. Boom!
Live from the Raising Cane studio, here's Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
Welcome in a Friday edition on Off the Bench. We are working towards the weekend. One more show for you here on this work week. Taylor Sharp here with you, filling in for Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn. One more time. We are feeling good. We're ready to have some fun on this Friday. Woke up feeling pretty good, guys. And we got Alondra Villarreal. We got Braxton Rizzuto here. Alondra looks like she's ready to end this week with a bang. She has bangs now, guys. It's funny.
I'm not even gonna.
It's funny. Braxton and
I'm
Gianni
not even gonna
enjoyed it.
engage in that.
She does this, so she loved it. Okay, Braxton, she's not
what
serious.
Did you say the other day, or like
She doesn't
when it was
mean
the
it or
tripod,
something.
But what did you say?
The Five Guys.
Oh yeah.
I asked Matt if he had ever been to Five Guys. He said yeah, and I said, well, that's how many guys LSU got in the transfer portal. She hated the joke. Worst part is, Braxton,
so
it was
dumb.
actually 6 players.
Yeah.
I miscounted. Worst
The
part
6
of it.
guys slipped in.
Okay, so we're rocking the bangs though. They look great.
They're back. So back.
Was when you were rolling out yesterday, that's where you were going. You were get the bangs done.
Mm-hmm.
They look great.
Thank you. I also went a little more red and darker.
Okay.
Okay, it does look, yeah.
Okay, so it looks red. Closer up.
I mean, it was like more purple last time I got it done. Like a cherry
auburn?
cola.
Right.
And this is more like burgundy.
Okay.
Yeah.
It looks great.
Thank
we
you.
love it.
Thanks. They're back. They were gone for a little bit, but they're back.
We gotta get a social media post though. See, that's the thing.
It was during my window, so I did post a story on mine, and then I think I put it on Twitter too.
Okay, well then we're good.
Yeah.
If it's social media official.
Yeah.
Everybody's seen the bangs
are
now.
social media official.
Braxton, how we doing?
Doing good. Sucks that I missed yesterday.
No bangs for
Being in
Braxton.
school. No, not at all.
You didn't get the memo, dude. I was gonna wear mine. I didn't want to be in a laundry match. So
Yeah,
I was
you
like,
didn't want to
what?
steal my thunder.
Yeah, I was like, that's
I'm gonna let her
just,
have her moment.
Right, and she let us know yesterday. I didn't see the pig, but she texted us in the group like, hey, when y'all get back, I'm gonna have bangs. So I was like, I don't want to be the copier, you know. You never want to be the second guy.
I didn't
want to
want-
be the trendsetter.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't want Jake and Matt to get here and be like, what is happening over there? So I gave them a little warning.
Well, Jake texted us yesterday. Our guy still hasn't got a haircut.
Oh, he said, I still have long hair, sorry. Because we all know I'm not a fan of his long hair.
Right.
I actually really don't like it.
Well,
And so he was like, I still have the long hair, sorry. I said, that's disappointing news.
yeah. Let's see how he won't admit it. Jake's trying to go full Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
So he's trying to have that little bit of
Oh,
lettuce
He wants
flowing in
some
the
like
back.
actual flow.
He's gonna have that flow going on in the back. The Tony Vitello look that he had when he was at Tennessee. That's gonna be Jake when he gets back on Monday. Braxton, you told me.
Yeah.
I was telling you, I was like, yeah, I got in a little bit late, had to work the women's basketball game, and you said, well, I got in late too. You play on an intramural basketball team at Southeastern. How is this the first time I'm hearing about this?
I don't know. I feel like I would have told you before. This is my third year doing it since I'm a junior. We are currently 3-0.
We get the win last night?
We did. Won by 21.
21 chumps.
Yeah. Little blowout.
Those posers on the other side, they just stand a chance. All right, be honest. How many did we drop last night? What was the stat line for our guy?
We actually have a guy who videos and takes stats. So I don't know the official stats.
You
But
didn't keep track of how many points you Braxton.
Of course I did.
Listen to me. Okay, how many points? Everybody in intramural basketball, you're counting every single shot. You don't care about your teammates in intramural basketball. What'd you score?
last night I had about 14. Just 14. Since we're blowing out, we played the other guys.
Since we were blowing them out.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What kind of brag was that, Braxton? First off, I
Humble
hear.
brag.
Well, first off, I hear. I just said 14.
I didn't have that much.
A cool 14 piece,
Yeah.
and we were blowing them out.
We
So
were
set the
sharing.
second half.
Sharing.
Coach
Sharing is
said.
caring.
Coach said all the blue chip recruits in the second half because we were running away with it. All right, Mr. Cocky, what we averaging in intramural basketball?
I would say about 13, 14, somewhere around that. We have everybody,
Okay,
our whole
baller.
starting five in score. So we're all like getting at least 10, 12 points.
So it's a team. It's a
It's
little
a team
team
effort.
share the rock.
There's no I in team.
There ain't nobody out there.
But
Russell
there's a
Westbrook.
even though
M
there's
and
an
an E.
ME. Even though there's an ME.
You don't have any Russell Westbrooks on the team boxing out
Nah.
your teammates to get an extra rebound,
We're
keep that
actually,
triple double going.
My little comp is Reed Shepard.
That's your comp.
That's my comp.
Braxton.
That's my
Do
comparison.
you comp yourself?
Yeah,
No,
that's
no.
like.
No. I promise you.
Speaking of comping yourself,
Yeah.
okay, y'all know the skater we talked about, the real Ilya Malinin or whatever. He fell in
Yeah.
the finals, got like 8th.
Mm-hmm.
You know he
Quad God?
gave himself that nickname.
He gave himself quad. You can't give yourself.
I know.
Quad. I'm mad that we all
I
went along
know.
with it.
Oh.
He gave himself the nickname, and he apparently had a nickname before that because he did like a triple.
Yeah.
Gave himself that nickname too. So he's a repeat offender on that. It's not good.
That doesn't go.
I mean, like, did somebody actually call you Reed Shepard, or is that
Yeah.
just a guy you watch?
100%. No. They were just at first, they were naming like any white guy. They were going from Reed Shepard. Who else?
Reed Shepard.
Really just Reed Shepard. That's my favorite one so far.
So an athletic white guy is what you're saying.
Oh, I'm athletic.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like they just compared you
Mhm.
to an athletic white guy.
Yeah.
Hey, I get it, man. I got a little fired up this morning because I don't know if anybody saw U.S. another gold medal.
Oh, yeah.
This time against those damn dirty Canadians.
They're all in overtime, too.
The 51st state now of the U.S. Like the U.S. officially owns Canada. Hockey was the one thing you had, right? Like Canadian Football League, awful. We listed the number of celebrities you had. We don't care. We could take them or leave them. The best thing about Canada is Nickelback, and half the U.S. hates you. Your flag is, your country's so boring that you put a leaf on your flag to attract tourists. Niagara Falls, you can see it from Buffalo, New York. Now we own them in hockey. Those that didn't see, U.S. women's hockey beats Canada in the gold medal round, 2-1. So it was 1-0 going into the final period. And then Hillary Knight scores the goal in the third, send it into overtime, and Megan Keller, the overtime goal to send those damn Canadians into that second place bracket. Shout out to the U.S. They get it done. That is their third gold medal in U.S. women's hockey history, first since 2018, actually, so it's been a little while. But shout out once again, U.S. showing their dominance over Canada. And get ready because today, after the U.S. men's team takes down Slovakia in the semifinal round, we're going to whip up on you in the gold medal round. I'm sorry, this is OTB. As Alondra would say, we're going to give you a can of butt whip in the final round.
Hell
Braxton, you ever heard of like Boudreaux's butt paste? You've probably seen it in the stores.
I couldn't tell you.
I couldn't actually tell you what it's for. I just know it's a thing. Alondra created butt whip.
Oh,
That's our
no.
something version of it. So if you hear me refer
You've
to
heard of
anything as
Flynn-isms.
right,
Get ready for Alondra-isms.
right. This is something that we created 2 weeks ago when it was just the tripod of me, Alondra, Matt. Scary times that week was.
It's gonna happen again next week.
Yeah, we also created a new Olympic position, the Freckle Inspector. He may pop up in the chat.
Really?
So if you see
wow.
Freckle Inspector in the chat, that came from that week as well. We're going to patent butt whip. We're going to make a killing off of it. But shout out U.S. women's hockey team getting it done over the Canadians. And yeah, U.S. plays Slovakia today at 2 o'clock on the men's side. Canada plays Finland. I imagine it's going to be U.S. and Canada. I hope it's U.S. and Canada. Get a little payback from the Four Nations face-off last year. Get that done. Get another gold medal in the bracket. Make it happen. Keep racking up the golds. LSU. The U.S. sits in third place right now in terms of total medal count. Norway, again, still dominating. Italy in second. U.S. right now, 25, 26 overall medals. And, dominating, killing it. in the Winter Olympics right now. Started off slow, but past couple week or so, they're getting going. All right, look, we're going to cut first segment a little bit short because we got a lot to get to. LSU women's basketball, big-time road win last night, and the Tigers on the baseball diamond. They'll play a little tournament up in Florida coming up today, this afternoon, 1 p.m. first pitch. We're breaking it all down next. You're on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench.
GCOPnet.com, Gulf Coast Office Products, the leader in office solutions, not only here in Baton Rouge, but in the entire Gulf Coast. That's why the Pelicans, the Saints, the Tigers, and the Raging Cajuns all trust GCOP. If you are part of a law firm, engineering firm, university, bank, hospital, well, you know how important documents are. And you know you need them when you need them. Right then, right there, not down the road. And you're always going to get that because no matter what, when you call Gulf Coast Office Products, the person that answers is going to be the person that helps you. They're not transferring you to 17 different people. Go to the website, gcopnet.com.
That's right, Gulf Coast Office Product. Louisiana's leader when it comes to office technology. So printers, copiers, scanners, whatever it is. You know that lifeline of the office and how it functions and runs is that paper trail. And you cannot afford any downtime. I don't care if it's a one-person office or a 1,000-person office. If you have downtime, that's why their award-winning service team can help you out and help you out fast. That's Gulf Coast Office Products, GCOPnet.com.
If you wanna run away with me, I know a galaxy and I could take you for a ride. I had a premonition that we fell into a...
Tigers turn talkers. This is Off the Bench.
Remind you of our friends over at Ochsner Health. When it comes to your health, you want a team that you can trust. That's why so many families across Louisiana choose Ochsner Health. From primary care to advanced specialty care, Ochsner brings together top physicians, innovative technology, and convenient locations all across the state. So whether it's a routine checkup, a sports injury, care situation, heart health, or something a little bit more serious, they are with you every step of the way. Healthcare isn't one size fits all. We tell you that all the time. It is personal, and at Ochsner, your care is built around you. So take control of your health today. You can visit ochsner.org to find a provider or schedule an appointment. And I tell you all the time, man, when we were putting together Elite Training Academy, they were certainly the partner that we wanted. It's been a great partnership. You can visit that location of Burbank as well. All right.
Welcome back in. Friday edition of Off the Bench. And guys, this is a Friday-ass Friday. You know, I'm sitting here.
Can I just explain what happened real quick?
I was sitting here laundry. Like, that commercial break seemed a little long.
That's my bad.
What happened?
So we got back from the break, and the log over here has our live reads that we're supposed to do. And we had what we call a floater. And I tried to clear the floater, and I accidentally double-clicked. So when I cleared the floater, I also hit the stab again. And so whenever I hit the stab, it sent us immediately into a second break as soon as we got back from that first break. So my bad, y'all. My bad for the 6 minutes of commercials. That's on me for real. Chest tap.
So I took the headphones off during the break, put them back on. I hear the OTB stab, and I'm like, all right, we're about to come back in. And Laundry goes, no! I'm like,
I really did.
I'm like, Laundry, relax. It's just the stab. Like, if you're not ready to come back from break, we can let the bump music. And then she's like, we're in another break. I'm like,
I was like, I
why
sent us
are
back
we?
to break.
So, guys, we about to have a little 20-minute segment here on
Sorry, guys.
OTB.
Wait, what? Sorry.
I said, y'all better buckle up.
I know, my
It'll be
bad.
fine. Nookie had a comment in the chat that really made me laugh. Braxton, you're not going to know what this is because you're 12 years old. But Nookie says Braxton comes from the family who created the Braxton Hicks contractions. That's hilarious. I don't know if either of you know what that is. So
I'm a girl. I know what Braxton Hicks are.
How effed
Also,
up is it that it's
Friends-
named after a guy?
Yeah.
First off.
Also, Friends.
True.
Yeah.
That's true. Braxton Hicks contractions, Braxton, is like false ones. Like it's a really bad contraction to where it feels like you're going into labor and you're actually not. And it's just your body preparing itself for labor. So like, you know how they're like, oh, like baby's coming, like I'm about to go into labor. It's not. In like 20 seconds, it's done. And it could happen like multiple times. That's what Braxton Hicks contractions. I just thought that was fun. I doubt that's who you're related to, but.
Oh, no.
All right, guys. Lot to get to in this segment, fortunately. LSU women's basketball If you didn't catch it last night, you missed a heck of a game. The Tigers pull it out when they looked like they were done for. I mean, they were just barely treading water that entire game. Ole Miss had a 6-point lead at halftime. So you're like, okay, LSU's still within striking distance. LSU, awful second quarter. Just 11 points in that second quarter. Started out well. I mean, put up 26 in the first. You're like, okay, that's about normal. Let's see if they can keep that rolling. Awful in the second. Ole Miss gets up to as much as a 13-point lead in the third quarter. LSU was able to cut it to 9 heading into the fourth quarter. Well, with about 6.5 minutes to go, the Ole Miss Rebels were up 10 points at home, 6.5 minutes to go. It looked like there was no way this team was going to come back. Well, what happened? Ole Miss couldn't make any shots, and LSU just kept coming and kept going and kept going and kept going. They fought all the way back. You're like, oh, they cut it to 6. They cut it to 4. Wait a minute, this is a tie game. And once they tied that game on that Jada Richard 12-foot jumper, the entire thing flipped on its head and LSU ran away with it. And LSU wins this game 78-70. So from being down 10 with 6.5 minutes to go to winning this game by 8 points in that swing, it really shows the want for this team. Think about it. These ladies just came off of an emotional, draining, physical basketball game on Saturday night in the PMAC. It was the 7:30 primetime game. It was on ABC. You took on arguably the best team in women's college basketball, and you came up short once again. I mean, you lost the 18th straight time to South Carolina. Kim Mulkey 0-6 against Dawn Staley since being at LSU. Like, that's heartbreaking for everyone involved. And to get up for a game like that, physically and emotionally, that can be draining on you. Look at what happened 2 years ago. 2 years ago, LSU hosted South Carolina in that exact same spot. They lost to South Carolina. And what happened? They went on the road to Mississippi State later in that week, and they lost that game. And it very much looked like that was what was going to happen last night. But Flau'jae Johnson, Malaysia Fulwiley, who we'll get into in a minute, Jada Richard, like all of them stepped up so big down the stretch for this team. It was incredible. If you're wondering just how good LSU's defense was in that fourth quarter, Ole Miss 7 points in the fourth quarter, and they were 0 for 16 on field goal attempts. All 7 points came from free throws. It was foul shots that kept them in that game. LSU outscored them 24-7 in that last quarter of play. And again, the last 6.5, they blew the doors off of. I mean, it wound up being, can LSU try to get back into this game to how much is LSU going to win by once you were in the final 2 minutes of this ball game? Flau'jae Johnson, is just the leader of this team. You can tell that she's a 4-year player under Kim Mulkey. Anything, everything she has to do to win the game, she's going to do it. And she had 5 rebounds in this game, 3 assists, just 1 turnover. She shot 6 for 11 from the field. So she was actually really good there. And she finished with 18 points. She's actually only one of 2 players with double digits in this game. Malaysia Fulwiley off the bench continues to just be a spark plug for this team. She came off the bench, 24 minutes, 26 points, 10 of 18 shooting, and she kind of led the charge that last 6 minutes or so. She went on a run where she had 2 or 3 buckets in a row by herself to get you within that 2-point gap. And then again, Jada Richard ties the game on the jumper, and that's all she wrote. The Tigers run away with it. And you could see that they were fired up. I mean, I understand it's a different sport, but think about how much Ole Miss fans hate LSU right now. That's, you could hear it. I mean, it was like a hornet. Patrick Wright on the broadcast literally said, it feels like LSU's in a hornet's nest right now. The fans are right on top. There was 7,500 people in that building last night at an 8 o'clock midweek tip-off. And most of them were there rooting against LSU. Now, LSU traveled well. They had a lot of their fans there. I don't know if any of you saw the picture of a lot of the fans brought the Lane Kiffin LSU headshot cutout, and they were holding it up to troll the Ole Miss fans. Love that. Because Ole Miss is never going to stop thinking about Lane Kiffin. They're never going to stop thinking about LSU. And the fact that you went in there and got that win, great. Now you can say, okay, LSU is number 7 in the country. They got a win over number 17. Great. They did exactly what they're supposed to do. First off, it's hard to beat top 25 opponents. Second, it's even harder to win on the road in the SEC. But most importantly, I don't know if people realize how big this game actually was for really both teams. So going into last night, LSU and Ole Miss were tied for 4th in the conference. They were 8-4 overall. In order to get that extra bye in the SEC tournament, you have to be a top 4 seed. And now South Carolina's at the top, 12-1. Vandy's up there. Like, nobody's catching those teams. Well, with the win last night, LSU is now in sole possession of 4th place, sitting at 9-4. The 3 teams right behind them, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Ole Miss. LSU has beaten all 3 of those teams head-to-head, including Ole Miss last night. All the Lady Tigers got to do now is keep winning and you get your bye. You don't have to rely on anyone else. So you can look at it and say, yeah, it's big-time top 25 conference win, like great, but it means so much more for that for SEC tournament hopes and tournament seeding if you go far in that SEC tournament. This was much bigger than just one game. And, I mean, obviously I was just talking about the fan rivalry between the 2 schools, but even more so than that, what this team accomplished last night to get off the mat, fight back in a game where, honestly, like I was working the board last night. I was producing the game for Patrick Wright. I'm sitting there in the studio. It snowballs into a 13-point lead for Ole Miss with about 2.5 to go in the third quarter. And I'm like, this game's over. LSU was about to lose a second consecutive game and fall to 8-5. Like, I really saw that happen. You get into the fourth quarter, and they're chipping away and chipping away and chipping away. And then the last 2 minutes, I kind of sat back. I mean, I wasn't even super tense the last 2 minutes because I kind of knew LSU had this game in the bag. The way they were playing. Outside of the scoring itself, big story in the second half. Michaela Williams did not play at all in the second half. She had 16 minutes, all of them in the first half. Now, she had 7 points, 3 for 8 shooting, 1 for 3 from the 3-point line. It didn't look like she was injured. I mean, she was sitting on the bench the entire time. She actually stood up with the team when there was a timeout in the huddle. No word yet on if, look, we know Kim Mulkey, she's a fiery coach. Was she trying to make an example out of Michaela Williams? It's all speculation at this point. Michaela Williams did not play at all, though, in that second half. The good news is it didn't look like, though, it was because of injury. But again, a big-time win for the LSU Tigers, 78-70 over the Ole Miss Rebels on the road. And again, LSU now sole position of that 4th place spot so they could get that extra bye in that second round in that SEC tournament. Okay. Want to shift gears right now to LSU baseball. The Tigers will play the Jacks Classic starting today, 1 p.m. first pitch. It's not really a tournament, but there are 4 different teams here. So it's kind of like think of it as like a mock regional, if you will, out there in Jacksonville. So you'll play Indiana, Notre Dame, UCF. The Tigers will play Indiana first pitch at 1 o'clock. And for those wondering, last night, it kind of leaked the pitching rotation for LSU. So Case and Evans will be Friday, just like he was last week. Cooper Moore Saturday. Sunday, as of right now, is TBA. So it could be William Schmidt. It could be someone else. We'll see. Me and Alondra were talking about it earlier this week. Like, not all 3 of those weekend rotation spots are set in stone. Also, keep in mind that Cooper Williams did not pitch in that midweek game a couple nights ago against Nichols. Are they preparing him for a weekend start? Do they go with William Schmidt? Although William Schmidt had a fine outing on Sunday. I think he was good enough to earn a second start. But Jay likes to tinker with things early in the year, try to find his best possible lineup. So just something to keep an eye on going into Sunday. Now, if we see Cooper Williams out of the pen either today or tomorrow, that'll give us a clearer picture on what happened Sunday. But just keep that in mind. And, maybe they'll announce down the road who's pitching Sunday. But as of last night, it was TBA on that Sunday spot. But the Tigers will take on Indiana first. Indiana 1-3 overall on the season. So you can look at that and say, oh, well, this team's not any good. LSU is going to have a really easy time. But they took on number 11 North Carolina in the opening weekend, and they struggled. I mean, they lost 9-4 on Friday. Game 2 was a 12-2 run rule victory for the Tar Heels. And then a 4-3 loss that went into extra innings. That was an 11-inning game, so Indiana fought back a little bit in that game 3. Then they came home and beat the brakes off of Bradley, 15-3 run rule in their midweek game. So not a lot to go off of because, yes, they got swept by a really good top 15 program on the road in North Carolina. You come home, you beat the brakes off of an overmatched team in Bradley. So not a lot to look at and say, hey, is this team good? Are they not? I think it's somewhere in the middle. As far as what LSU is going to see, you'll likely see Tony Newbeck as the Friday pitcher for Indiana. He threw on Friday last week, and I mentioned that they lost that Friday game to North Carolina last week, 9-4. It wasn't really Tony Newbeck's fault. I mean, he did well. He goes 4 innings, gives up only 1 hit, had 2 strikeouts, gave up no runs. I mean, he did walk 3. That was kind of a theme in the opening weekend for that Indiana pitching staff was they allowed a lot of free base runners to get on those base paths. But yeah, I mean, he pitched well, 4 innings, 2 Ks, 1 hit, gave up no runs. If you remember the name Tony Newbeck, he pitched at Missouri last year. He'd been there for a few years. LSU has actually faced him one time when he was at Missouri. Wasn't great at Missouri, kind of a middle-of-the-road pitcher, but Indiana is relying on him right now to be that Friday starter for them. So that is likely who you're going to see in game 1. Third base, Will Moore. He has led off every game for them so far with kind of mixed results. He's 5 of 17 on the year with 3 RBIs. But again, they've played 4 games. He has led off in every single one of those games. I imagine when Indiana goes out there to bat, third baseman Will Moore will likely lead off for him once again, unless something else changes. Because they're really not hitting the ball well as a team. Like you can say, 5 for 17, they might make a change. Again, I mean, they struggled. They scored 9 runs total in 3 games against against North Carolina. And yeah, they got the 15 runs in the midweek, but that was against Bradley, an overmatched team. I think LSU is going to have some success here. I would like to see Kason Evans have a bounce back. I mean, he did some good on Friday, did some not so good on Friday as well. As far as game 2 goes, you'll face the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Notre Dame 2-1 on the year. They've only played 3 games. They actually lost their opener to FAU in game 1 last week. Then they dominated them the next 2 games. I imagine Notre Dame played in Boca Raton last week. They're in Jacksonville this week. They probably just chilled in Florida for the past week, which is why they did not play that midweek game. Caden Crowell started game 2 last week. Went 3 innings, no runs, no hits. But again, he did walk 4 and he struck out 3. So both starting pitchers that you're likely going to face did a good job of limiting hits and limiting runs, but they gave up free passes to some batters. If you do that against a talented lineup like LSU, that's going to get you into some trouble. So that's something to watch as the series goes along a little bit more. And then your game 3 opponent, UCF, they crushed Siena in their opening series, 16-0, 13-1, 15-0. All of those were run rules. Then they fell short to Miami. It was a nationally ranked team in their midweek game on Tuesday. But look, they battled hard. That was an 8-7 final score that went 13 innings against the Hurricanes. So UCF looking pretty strong on the year so far. We'll see what they have in this Jax Classic. Guys, I know the two of you will be locked in on this as well. So, I kind of gave just an overall breakdown of what you're probably going to see pitching wise for these teams you're going to face this weekend, whether it's Indiana, Notre Dame, Central Florida. As far as the Tigers go, I got a few on my mind. Want to see where y'all are at. What are you keeping an eye on, Alondra, as far as the Tigers go? Like, what are you looking for this weekend? Something you want to see?
I can't think of anything specifically. I'm kind of with you. I want to see if Kason can go a little longer than 3 1/3, I think is what it was on Friday. Obviously, I also kind of want to see, so I know it's TBD on Sunday, maybe William Schmidt, maybe somebody else, maybe Cooper Williams, because we didn't end up seeing him on, when did we play? Wednesday?
Wednesday, yep.
So maybe I'm curious to see that, but I'm also curious to see later on down the line if Kason Evans holds that Friday night spot, or if it ends up being like he switches Cooper Moore to be your ace, and then maybe Kason to Saturday. I don't know. We'll have to see how he ends up doing and if he can extend. But I'm curious down the line to see what the rotation ends up being.
Yeah,
because I don't think this is what it's gonna be.
It hardly
later on
ever is
yeah.
under Jay. I mean, every year. That's the first thing I wrote down. Can Casey Evans extend as a starter?
Yeah.
I wanted you to go first because I knew that's where you were going. Like,
Yeah.
everybody's on the same page on this. Yes, he went 3 1/3. He did strike out 7 in 3 1/3, which is great.
No, he did well.
The top of the fourth just snowballed
Yeah.
on him. Like, all
Yeah.
4 runs he gave up were in that fourth inning. He was cruising through the first 3, and you're like, okay, this is the Casey Evans we expected.
I could be remembering wrong, but wasn't it kind of like that last season too when he would start?
Yeah, because he got some of those SEC starts
Yeah.
on Sunday. And then remember, that was when everybody was like, do you keep starting him? Do you put him back in the back of the
Yeah.
bullpen? Because at that point, you really only had him and Evans. Like, the rest of the bullpen, him and Cowan.
Yeah.
The rest of the bullpen was still trying to catch up. So people were like, hey, Evans is too valuable out of the pen. Do you really want to start him? But yeah, I mean, he got off to a slow start last year. Like, remember, it was Cowan that got the hot start.
Mm-hmm.
Evans, towards the end of the year, was the one that was really your dominant guy. But yeah, the fourth inning last week against Milwaukee really just kind of snowballed on him. But 7 strikeouts, 3 1/3. Want to see if he'll extend a little bit longer. I got a feeling that he will. I have confidence that Casey Evans can be a starting pitcher for this team. I'm glad you brought up Cooper Moore, because if Cooper Moore goes 6 innings, 11 strikeouts, and no walks like he did this last week, he kind of has to be your Friday guy. Now, that's a tough ask. 11 strikeouts to no walks is incredible. But we knew coming into this season that Cooper Moore was probably going to be a starter on this staff. Jay raved about him in press conferences every chance he got. And when a coach does that, when a coach raves about a player in any sport when not specifically asked about that player, to me, that always makes me think, okay, that player is top of mind for that coach. They are really standing out. And that's exactly what happened. Like, Cooper Moore last year started a bunch of games at Kansas, did really well, and he was dominant week 1. So, yeah, that's something to keep an eye on. This one, not even a concern for me. I just want to see how good he really is. Can Gavin Guidry continue his dominance? Like, that's something I'm watching. Like, I don't know if you guys realize I went yesterday and kind of combined his first 2 games. In the first 2 games, now he's only going 4 1/3 total. But in 2 games, 4 1/3 innings pitched, 10 strikeouts, 1 hit, no runs, no walks. That's unbelievable. If Gavin Guidry can be 80% of what he's been so far, then you have a really good back of the bullpen reliever. I know it's early in the season. I know everyone was concerned about Gavin Guidry's injury. I mean, hell, he hadn't played in 18 months until the opener against Milwaukee. Gavin Guidry almost looks better than he was, which is difficult to say because he was a closer on the national championship team as a freshman and had a big role as a sophomore in 2024 as well. Gavin Guidry almost looks bigger, stronger than he did before he had that injury issue. Gavin Guidry can keep it going. I think the sky is the limit for this pitching staff because at that point, if it does wind up being some combination of Casey Evans, Cooper Moore, William Schmidt in the starting role, or a Cooper Williams, but 3 of those 4 guys solidify a spot. You have your starters. You have your back-end guy in Gavin Guidry. Devin Sheeran was dominant. He could give you some big-time innings. I think Santiago Garcia is going to step up. He was too good at Oregon. That's a lefty out of the pen for you. If you get your starting rotation figured out, pairing that with Gavin Guidry as your number 1 bullpen arm, you can kind of pick and choose your spots for everyone else. Those guys will have had those kind of designated spots in that rotation, in that bullpen. You can kind of pick and choose based on matchup, which Jay does all the time anyways. It just kind of makes your life easier. How concerned are you, Alondra, about Zach Cowan right now?
I don't know. We kind of talked about this yesterday, and I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little concerned about it. But we've just seen it from him before. So I don't, like, obviously there is a little bit of concern, but I think that if you get a little bit more reps, work with Nate Yeske a little bit, we could probably see him back to where he was before. But it is concerning only because of the back end of last season.
Right. But we also, to your point, saw him in so many big-time moments against big-time teams. Like, if this was Zach Cowan a year ago, coming from Wofford, stepping up a level of competition, and then struggling, that's where my concern would be. At that point, I would be like, okay, this is an issue. Is he not ready for this level of ball? But he was so good for you last year. I mean, he was the best closer in the SEC for 75, 80% of the season last year. I think he'll get it back. He has the ability to do that. To her point about working with Nate Yeske, like, is there a guy, I know people like to troll and all that, but in all seriousness, is there a guy in college baseball you would trust more to work with somebody than Nate Yeske? Not me. And I trust that man wholeheartedly. He was great before he got here, and all he's done at LSU is had this team lead the SEC in strikeouts 2 years in a row. And oh yeah, they won a natty last year. Nate Yeske's got the resume to where I'm just going to blindly trust him. I think Zach Cowan can bounce out of it. And the good news is this team is so talented and so deep. You're going to have at least a talent advantage over most of the teams you play at this point in the season. Put Cowan out there. Let him work through his struggles in an in-game situation. Because you have the talent advantage right now to overcome that. I mean, if you drop a game, yeah, that sucks. But I think right now it's more important for Zach Cowan to work through his issues. Because when you get into those high-leverage moments in SEC games, you're going to need a guy like that who has the experience and who has the ability to make those big-time pitches for you, and that's who Zach Cowan is. So we'll see what happens. A lot of things to watch as LSU, again, they will play Game 1 against Indiana, 1 p.m. this afternoon in the Jacks Baseball Classic out there in Jacksonville, Florida. We're going to keep an eye on it. We'll recap the entire series when we get back on Monday. But what we'll do right now, we'll step away. We'll close out hour number 1 next. Here on Off the Bench.
Off the bench.
Go to Bally's, Baton Rouge Casino and Hotel, the brand new star of downtown Baton Rouge. It is brand new. And sure, like the outside of the building somewhat might be the same, but that's the only thing that is the same. When you walk in, you'll be blown away. They have got Vegas-style gaming all over the place right when you walk in on the casino floor. They've got new slot machines. They have got a brand new DraftKings Sportsbook with an incredible bar that butts up to this biggest TV I think you've ever seen in your life. They've got a brand new hotel. Every room got an upgrade. Everything got an upgrade. Go check it out. Bally's Baton Rouge Casino and Hotel.
That's right. It is Friday. It is the weekend. Friday. If you're looking for something to do, if you're in Baton Rouge, the Baton Rouge area, looking for something to do with your friends, with your spouse, whatever it is, a little date night, go to Bally's of Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge, you got an upgrade, 25,000 square foot gaming facility, beautiful hotel and restaurants right there. Bally's of Baton Rouge.
I had a way then, losing it all on my own. I had a heart then, but the queen has been overthrown. And I am not sleeping.
2007 champs, purple and gold to the core. This is Off the Bench with Hester and Flynn. Baton Rouge's go-to for all things Louisiana sports.
All right, banking should feel personal because, well, it is. At First American Bank and Trust, you're not just an account number. You are a neighbor with locations across Louisiana. They deliver personal service backed by the strength and technology you expect from a modern bank. So whether you're opening a checking account, growing your business, financing a home, or planning for the future, their team takes the time to understand your goals and build a plan that works for you. It's local decision-making, trusted relationships, real service. That is the difference. You can visit them online at fabt.com today to learn more. First American Bank and Trust, banking built around you.
That's right. For more than 100 years, they've helped Louisiana families purchase their first home, build businesses, grow their businesses, plan for the future, and it's all done with local bankers who live and work right here in our community. So know your banker, get straight answers, work with people that actually care about your success. And when you call, no phone trees, no out-of-state decisions being made on a loan, just honest banking that's built on trust. First American Bank and Trust, fabt.com.
Again, Friday edition of Off the Bench. Taylor Sharp here with you. Filling in for Jacob Esther and Matt Flynn here inside the Raising Cane studio. A lot quicker commercial break that time. Only one break that time. You know I had to do it. I'm sorry.
My bad.
I'm sorry. No, it was great. And I enjoyed it. It added a little
That
bit
was
of
so dumb.
It added a little bit of pizzazz. We made it. We rolled with the punches.
I was like, Happy Friday. Here's 6 minutes of commercials. So stupid.
I'm about to blow y'all's minds. You're not going to believe this. You're not going to see it coming. Georgia had 2 players arrested yesterday for reckless driving.
No way. You're lying. That program?
I know. It was actually Wednesday night, but yes, both of them. Linebackers Chris Cole and Darren Akinabon were arrested on reckless driving and exceeding the maximum limit.
Unbelievable.
Both were misdemeanors, but here's the funny part of this. Well, luckily, no one was injured because that has happened before surrounding that program. But it says here Cole was booked at 9:59 p.m. and posted bond at 10:39 p.m. That's 40 minutes. At Kennebon, he was booked at 10:37 p.m. He posted bail at 11:08 p.m. Also around 45 minutes. You know what it reminds me of, Alondra? This clip right here from SpongeBob. Go ahead, Braxton.
You gonna do to us?
Okay, follow me. If you can't do the time, don't do the crime. Okay, time's up.
That's Georgia.
Now get out.
That's
literally what happened.
That's the Athens County Sheriff's Department. They were feeling Athens Clark County is who it was. They were feeling generous there. They were in jail for like flip of a coin. And this is this part here blows my mind. I had to check this. I thought this was a typo, but DogNation.com has it. Yahoo Sports has it. This is the actual amount they had to pay to post bond. Chris Cole posted a $26 bond.
Perfect.
Darren Akinabon, he really got a big slap on the wrist. He had to post a $39 bond. And they were locked up for about 40 minutes apiece. At that point, do you have to have somebody come bond you out? Or if you just got $40 in your pocket, you just slip it to the cop and be like, I'm kind of ready to go.
Do y'all take Apple Pay?
Right. Can I Venmo you?
Yeah.
Can I Venmo you $40? Like, can we just wrap this up and be done with it? The part I love in this article on Dog Nation, listen to this quote. This is not the first time Georgia has run into issues with reckless driving.
Wait, I thought it was.
Believe it or not, Alondra, this has happened before.
Crazy.
It's become a recurring issue with the program after the last few off seasons.
But real talk, like, how does it happen every year?
And always,
it's always Georgia football. And it's always reckless driving.
And Kirby seems like the type of guy that would run a really tight program.
I guess not.
And, like, it's so hard nowadays because players are so damn soft. You punish them in any way, shape, or form, they're just going to enter the transfer portal and leave. But if I'm Kirby Smart, part of the NIL package for my football team is I'm buying everyone a motor scooter or a Segway or a damn hoverboard or whatever I can. You ain't allowed to drive here at the Georgia football program. It's not happening.
Well, they keep doing it because they've spent 40 minutes in jail and paid $26 to get out.
Look, I'm sure the cops were feeling generous that night. I'm sure it had nothing to do with the fact that these were Georgia football players, okay? You and I, if we were drag racing on that strip, we'd probably spend 25 minutes in jail, Alondra.
A tale as old as time.
Tell you what, if that happened to us, I'll be generous and be the big spender. I'd pay both of our bonds.
Really?
I would. I'd pay the $39 and the $26.
That's crazy.
I know. I got you.
I would just call Gordy.
Gordy, can you send me like $50?
Can you get me out of jail?
It's like $50.
I feel like you could.
That seems like a really low bond. No, that's for two of us. That's two of us. Is total is $50.
Both. $25 each.
It's insane. So Chris Cole, though, actually a pretty good linebacker for this team. He had 59 tackles a year ago, 7 tackles for a loss, 4.5 sacks last season, appeared in all 14 games. You think that guy's going to get in a whole lot of trouble?
No.
Probably not. Darren Akinabon, he only appeared in 5 games with 2 tackles. He don't stand a chance. That's why his bond was an extra $13. Higher. Yeah. They were like, look, Chris, you did a lot of good. We'll give you $26. You're out of here. And Darren's going to leave, and he's like, whoa. Where do you think you're going, Darren? He's like, well, I'm going with my buddy Chris. You let him out? No, sir. Pay up. 39 big ones right here, buddy. Slap us 2 20s on the table. We'll call it even. Leave us that
must
$1
have like
tip.
an Audubon or something, like out in Athens.
It says they exceeded
Exceeded
the maximum speed limit.
That was Matt Flynn AF.
That was
Exceeded.
That was a Flynnism right there.
Dang,
just making up words
we're
here.
struggling today.
Anyways, Georgia, stay hot. I mean, I don't know
Please
what
don't
else to
stay
say.
hot, actually.
I don't know what else to say about this program. It blows my mind every time I see a story like this. All right, we're going to take a timeout. When we get back, we got a lot coming up. Jay Clark, 8:30. Ross Jackson, 9 o'clock. Doug Thompson, former LSU pitcher, coming up at 9:30. All that next. You're on Off the Bench.
Off the bench